Hi, I'm Katerina, and I'm here today to talk to you about the cold, hard truth about that we should be planning for the future. One of the things we should be really considering is where we're going to live. So we have a room full of brilliant minds, so after this talk, we're going to get together and we're going to devise a plan. We need microbiologists, politicians in the back. Brian, you're good at math, right? Right? We need engineers. And so step one of this plan is that we're going to create a massive global warming effect. And we kind of already know how to do this. And so when we nuke Mars, it's going to release all the CO2 from the polar ice caps. It's going to melt the core. The planet's going to spin faster. And the molten core is going to create something that's called a magnetosphere that's right there. And that protects the environment and the atmosphere from the solar winds that you see attacking it, so we can keep the atmosphere that we create. So when we do this, the next step is to put cyanobacteria into the water we hopefully have. And these guys are extremophiles. They can live literally anywhere. And what they're going to do for us is they're going to convert that CO2 to oxygen so that we can breathe. But that doesn't mean that it's time to celebrate yet, because even though we're not going to die from radiation at this point and the temperatures aren't going to be that of like what's on Siberia, the biggest problem we have yet to solve, and it's actually the hardest problem for us living on Mars, and that is that Mars has 1/3 of the gravity of Earth. And that means, like, if you were born on Mars and you weighed 150 pounds, say you came to Earth, you would weigh 500 pounds and you couldn't get out of bed and your bones would break. So when astronauts go into space, even for 6 months, they lose 20% of their bone mass and 30% of their muscles. They go blind, they have brain damage, they go deaf, because the body just can't sustain that low of a gravity. We're not designed for it. So there are a lot of, what they do to counteract some of the effects is they exercise for 3 hours a day, and that's like the results they're getting with 3 hours a day of exercise. And that's like not even good enough. So when Elon Musk said that if you're going to be one of the first people to go to Mars, you should be prepared to die. Like, you should just be okay with it. You should also have an extreme sense of adventure and $200,000. So I actually worked out at NASA at the Ames Research Center. That's me. And it's a piece of equipment called Vasper, and it mimics 3 hours of exercise in 20 minutes, and astronauts are now using it, and the Navy SEALs, because you get cold straps on your arms, you sit on a cold chair, you put your feet on these super cold plates, you're freezing, you're on this elliptical bike, and it tricks your body into thinking that you're running up Mount Everest at 15 miles an hour. So your body, you got that hormetic response, but your body isn't actually getting the damage of that exercise, so all that good stuff is actually just going back into repairing your body and giving you faster, better, more amazing results. People who have multiple sclerosis, for example, have seen like amazing benefits like you wouldn't believe. So this is a tool that we're probably going to be using to adapt to that environment, or at least to limit the effects of living on Mars. So that's like one solution to this whole thing. And I should probably get my credibility back and say that tulips are probably not a really practical thing to be growing on Mars. We should be growing potatoes. But the point I'm trying to make, is that we should focus on the limitations of the human body, the same as terraforming, the same amount of effort. And then another solution is to make a planet as big as Earth so we don't have that gravity problem, but we can't because we're only a type 1 civilization, less on the Kardashev scale, which means like if we were a type 2, we can maybe terraform and then maybe understand all of space and time as a type 3 civilization, but like we're not even there yet, and I'm saying it would be really nice if we could be there because we wouldn't have any of these problems. And a type 4 civilization, you're a time-traveling space dragon at that point and understand everything there is to know about time and space, and our puny human mind couldn't even conceive what that is, and terraforming wouldn't even be anywhere near a problem that it is now. So I hope I brought up some interesting ideas today, and that we can get together after this event and brainstorm on what to do. A lot of different disciplines are needed to terraform and survive on Mars. That's the cold, hard truth. And if you're interested in learning more, this is a great trilogy. Pretty long books, but talk about like the political effects of living on Mars, biological effects of living on Mars, all that cool stuff to get you prepared for this. Yeah.